Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, off here to 1 vs 1 on Rechnaya, pereprava. In the north, it is Idkwimta fighting here for the Soviet Union, socialism, Comrade Stalin. And the 5th Mechanized Corps, versus in the south, it is C++, fighting here for the Oberkommando West, Germany, Deutschland, following up the Groß Deutschland, Panzergrenadier shown here with breakthrough doctrine, infantry and Oberstleutnant bulletins versus airborne troops, shock rifle and armoured assault tactics here for Idkwimta with double infantry and penal trooper bulletins there. And we do get a penal trooper start there for Idkwimta, and as always, remember to like, share and subscribe and press the bell button to help, keep me growing and to deliver glorious continuous propaganda to you. We got penal trooper squad halfway down there for Idkwimta. Penal trooper starts upgrade versus the Oberkommando West, since the Oberkommando West will struggle a bit versus the penal troopers in the early game that way, plus the scout car. The Soviets can sort of fight back, though conscript builds are becoming more common thanks to the whole mobilized reserve bit. Sandbags up here, sort of preparing for any fighting close to the base already here, since obviously if the opponent get RPC and you then have to cross negative cover, it becomes a bit messy. Well, you always still have to, but at least you got a bit more foothold here to sort of help defend this area. Obviously, kind of create a situation theoretically they can sort of block off further, so it's a bit of a double exploit there, assault there by C++. Seizing the eastern field, putting over the Sturmpioneers, moving westwards to the Volkskammer there, sandbags up there as well, very good thorough sandbagging there by him. We'll have to see what he goes for next. Might be some Panzer facilities down the road. We got the scout car on the way there, so in the early game versus Soviets, Panzer facilities can always be a good choice because the anti-tank rifle grenade, which you need to have some way of snaring up the scout car, which is usually what the Oberkommando selects in the early game, since for the Volkskammer you kind of need a truck upgrade to get access to that. So it could be something here that C++ could consider versus Idkwimta here. It could be something for him to consider. Almost got the western field, but probably secured the eastern one there. Penals were falling back here in the face of C++ advancing infantry. Advancing for Deutschland. Nice little combined arms force there, cohesive infantry force. We've got the scout car out there, the M3A1 out here for Idkwimta. Rushing westwards there, might hit the isolated Volkskammer squad there, which is probably the right choice. Let's move right for the building. And there you go, engineers popping in his sight, denying in the house to the Volkskammer, leaving them not exposed out in the open. They're going to be suffering casualties, and C++ makes the obviously very right decision just to make you hit the retreat button and get the devil out of there. Seizing the centre victory point, eastern field point there being seized, and we got Panzers up here. I imagine in response here to the scout car, but it also just makes sense to go for some Volkskammer then add the Panzer facilities in. So far, most Panzer facility builds will only usually have 1 or 2 squads. Some may commit to more, though I think those are a bit on the rare end. Got Volkskammer engineers here by the eastern field point to at least keep it out of Idkwimta's hand for a bit longer. Panzer facility squad almost down there for Mr. C++. And there you go, Volkskammer being assailed here by the M3A1, a light scout car, or white scout car actually is also known. And then we've got Volkskammer engineers. Engineers will very much lose up to the Volkskammer. There's no debate there. Panzer Fusiliers moving out here for Mr. C++ and the Groß Deutschland. Peons moving out there for Idkwimta. Very good, very good. Slowly but surely advancing. And there you go, mine goes off on the Peons was up here. Volkskammer opening up there with Car take case. We've got the Sturmpioneers with their Sturmgewehrs. Scout car charging in. They're opening up here. It's going to take some time, that rain, to deal with it. Malmbo proving helpful there for C++ to sort of slow down any of Idkwimta's infantry. He ends up retreating. Trot on the way there for Mr. C++. Could be mechanized, could be battle group headquarters. We'll have to see what it ends up with. We'll have to see what it ends up with. Little skirmishing there. More folks arriving. I mean, this engagement is slowly going to turn in the favour of C++, even though it's going to be a slow engagement. And Idkwimta there, I think, is very rightfully beginning to pull back the scout car, so it's not really going to do much in its own. It's sort of more for hitting isolated Oberkommando units, sort of, cutting them to ribbons. It's less for, taking on half the German army in the current sector. Flame from your Peons troops down from the north here, trying to buy time with the other Peon troops. They go slowly bleeding out there. C++ infantry allowing the flame from using the Peons to get better into position here. Versus his forces, very good. We got the truck moving about there. Looks like he might have moved a bit too far ahead there. Yep, there's a rally point there, so that's where the scout car went. We wasn't paying attention. Flamethrower engineers being slowly bled up. Penal troops moving in there as well. And back here, penal troops is more on the way there when the other squad is awaiting reinforcements. No sign of doctrine here though for Idkwimta and the Red Army. Heading southwards as well for the point here. Other side of the river, though, is largely German. Of course, they can rapidly change. Skirmishes doing the Volkers, flamethrower units nearby. And of course, got the Panzers moving up. They note he's trying to move up behind here, so he can sort of threaten the possible escape party of the M31 or surprise them. But in this case, though, Idkwimta spots the Panzers in time, avoiding an anti-tank rifle grenade there on his scout car, leaving a burning blaze and, C++ nicely hit. Now he has to retreat the Panzers. They're being suddenly overwhelmed here by Idkwimta's sheer numbers. Falls to the Stream Punch, putting back the Strafniki there. Very good, very good. Battle Group headquarters almost done there for C++. And there you go, big lump of penal troops out there. Going to be a bit difficult to deal with that without some heavy firepower response. Either flak half-track and MD-34. And we do get the Battle Group headquarters up here. So flak half-track is in fact what he's exactly going to go for. The 251-17. Flak Panzerwagen. Sturmpioneers rounding their knees in the south. Wire cutters and all that sort of. Nope, cancels it. Might be planning Panzerschrecks just in case, or there might be some other purpose for the munitions. Maybe he's planning for some early Panzerschrecks on the Panzerfusiliers. Haven't seen that a lot, but I mean, it does mean you have a 5-man squad with 2 Panzerschrecks, which is not really something to scoff at, to be honest. I mean, Fulton were kind of nuts with just 1 Panzerschreck, and they were a 5-man squad as well. But obviously, they could also fight infantry somewhere, so that's obviously part of it. But there you go, mine goes off. Rather punishing then for not having the minesweepers ready. And there we go, he can equip the Panzerfusiliers now with the Panzerschreck, or Ketzen Panzerbuchse. Sandbag position being prepared here to sort of fight any future engagements versus Mr. Idkwimta. Nice foresight there by C++. Flak half-tag almost done. Skirmishing there, scout car charging in. So far, though, no munitions expenditure. Might he just want to keep the munitions open, so if he feels like he has to go for it, he can, or if he doesn't, I suppose he can then just go for some other upgrade. But I guess that would sort of be what sort of makes sense. We sort of interpret it in that way. Folks, was the penal troopers here. Sandbag still did not get finished in time there for C++. Folks are trying to finish off this scout car, but they can't quite catch up with it, even with a damaged engine. It is, in some cases, just slightly still well paced, and there you go. Gets the scout car though, but if he loses the full screen he might not work. There you go, the flak half to the rescue, the 251-17. 270 flak, they're just hammering away there. Almost taking out the engineer squad. Very good, season least on a fuel point again. Back here, no medics yet here for C++, but I'm imagining that's going to be happening anytime soon. Flak half-tech rushing north. It's a bit risky, to be honest. He doesn't know how quickly Idkwimta to begin upgrading, say, penal troops with anti-tank rifles, which of course would mean his flak half-tech would just sort of rounds a corner, and there's an anti-tank unit nearby. That could be the loss of the flak half-tech. So C++, they're definitely playing aggressively, but that also comes with some rather big high explosive risks. Tank-to-tank command up there for Idkwimta and the 5th Mechanized Corps. Fuel point there still secured by the Panzerfusilier. Sehr good. Folks them westwards. And there you go, minesweepers actually finally decide, you know what, I need those. Goes second penal sweeper right here by the aggressively played 251-17 half-tech there by C++. Nice work there, nice work. Engineers charging southwards there. Panzer's going to engage them. You could go for the G for the freeze, of course, to increase the anti-infantry firepower. You could also add the Sturm Officer. That'd be pretty neat. Sturm have flak up support there. Oh, getting pretty close to the penal troopers. Pop smoke just the nick of time there, avoiding it, getting pummeled there by an anti-tank satchel charge, which would leave C++ in a really bad spot. And manages to basically just cause them to panic and rout by firing into the smoke there. Good work, good work. Following up the MD-34, obviously relying not just on the flak half-track, in part because the flak half-track is also what you call a pretty big target. Whereas the MD-34 is a bit of a smaller target, so having a bit of redundancy there could be a good move. And of course, he'll have to cover more areas there. But he's playing that flak half-track very aggressively, certainly much more aggressively than seen most players go about with the 251-17. So that's a bit interesting to note. The MD-34 almost done, T-70 almost done as well here. And certainly this there, we note that C++ at least for now has no anti-tank weapons. I mean, no Arcaden-Nerfers, the Panzerfusiliers haven't been upgraded either, so I mean, against the T-70, he's going to be in a tight spot. In particular, if Idkwimta handles it well and doesn't just, blaze it within range of a Panzerfaust. Flak half hanging back, they're going for the car finder. Nice aggressive play there by C++, not allowing Idkwimta much room to rest in. T-70 almost done, penalty out. Now we've got a lot of anti-tank rifles up, meaning he's switching over to focus mostly on the flak half-tack, but of course, Also indicating he's obviously putting a lot of faith into T7 to really deal with the infantry, to at least sort of compensate for that. And there you go, flanking with engineers, so they probably should have Penals was doing the flank to get the flag half track there. T7 engaging head on against the foot guns and heavy cover. I want again to sort of try to flank around and just attack head on to prepare position. Sandbags up there. I think sort of help defend the position there. Foot's being slowly bled out. Panzer is moving up. And we do get the double panzer upgrade down the way. Engineers hanging about. Penal troops also moving up. Again, if it sort of land a good flank in before C++ realizes he could have a good chance of taking out the flag half track. But we can also see this moving up. Infantry, in fact, figure out what's going on the flank. So he actually spots what's going on before it's too late. In this case, Idkwimta could perhaps have been a bit faster. And even then, he might still get the flak after. It is very low in health there. Panzer Fusiliers, by the way, being routed as well. Bit of a blow there to C++. Nothing crucial, but even then, bit harsh push they got thrown at him. See somebody charging ahead here with its 45mm gun. And there you go, MD44 routed. Most of C++ forces are in fact within his base. The only unit not there is a single Fulton squad farther up north. But admittedly serves most of Idkwimta's forces, meaning even if it's like been utterly routed, Idkwimta's not been able to immediately exploit and just seize a lot of territory. So, I mean, that's certainly in favour there of C++. Flak up there, of course, doing repairs, troops being healed in force inside the base, Panzer Fusiliers included. T-turning northwards there. We'll have to see what Idkwimta goes for next. Of course, noting he is yet to make a doctrinal pick. And we got a try on the way there for C++. Likely going to be the Schwerer Panzer Quarters. Or Schwerer Panzer Hauptquartier. Penal troops sitting out there with their PTRS 41 anti-tank rifles. Which, as a fun fact, did not have munitions ready for it when they actually introduced. Actually took them several months to sort of have ammunition ready for the anti-tank rifles. So that's a little fun fact. And we get a doctrinal pick. It is Shock Rifle Frontline Tactic of Idkwimta. A bold move there, so not a super common doctrine, though certainly powerful in the hands of the right player. We've seen Joe do a lot with KV-8s, and certainly shock troopers can also be quite a handful for enemy infantry. And of course, you got the IS-2 heavy tank, adding some serious firepower against the fascist menace. Sandbags up here, clearing up cover, and up north here we got engineers moving in there on their own. MD-34 Fultons holding up the line there. T-Center could move in as well. Fultons being shot out while setting up sandbags, taking some damage but no casualties. Flaming is routed further up north. And we got the Panzerjägers in the pursuit of the T-Center light tank with the Panzer Shreks in hand. Shock troopers are setting up patrol lines. Assault here on the center, in fact. I mean, if you can bait the flak half track away, he could probably get away with it. Also worth noting, mines there spotted by C++, laid down by Idkwimta. There you go, taking head on, troops taking losses. There you go, Panzerjägers flying at the T-70, almost setting up flak half. We got main gun knocked out by the 251-17. The assault platoon for the center. Could perhaps pick up the pace and perhaps trying to think crossover here to get further behind. C++ defensive position here by the main road. We got smoking down there, infantry charging forwards. Troops routed, Schwer punted quarters up here. Close to the fuel point, the assault continues. Stielhandgranate goes off, doesn't quite land here, and there you go, flak half track, but they still got a lot of anti-tank penal troops. They can sort of spread them out so the flak half track can't even suppress them. It could work out, but of course, we still got the MD-44, ensuring again that element of redundancy, meaning he can't just be swarmed by anti-tank infantry either, because the MD-34 can allow the flak half track to be in position and suppress the bastards in the same time. So, good sale there by C++, good tactical maneuvering. Idkwimta's assault thusly did some damage, but ultimately gained no ground, meaning he didn't really do anything. And actually now has the entire south half of the map, or southeast half of the map, open to C++ and Deutschland. Sis-3 filtering on the way to indicating side take here for Idkwimta. T-Center moving ahead here. Panzer Shreks are back at base of the T-Center. Has a good chance to do some serious damage there to C++. Flak after there. Shaking and jerking with every hit here from the T-Center light tanks, 45mm guns. Sis-3 almost done. Another push for the center. Flame for engineers backed up by minesweeper engineers. Less of an immediate effect to the Sturm pioneers, and of course, we got the penal troopers moving in as well. Sis-3 there arriving. Back here, troops reinforcing. C++ has gone for nothing further. Could consider Oberst Garden, or, you know, the Sturm office here. Or a light infantry gun for artillery support. I feel like that could also be a pretty good investment there for C++ and the Gross Deutschland. T-Center taking hits from the Panzer Shrek, wielding Panzer Fusilier. Engineers being routed by the Fultons in the south here. We got Fulton engaging the penal troopers out in the open. They're close to Veteran 2 there on the Strafniki. And we We do get some Oberslaughten out there for C++ and Germany. But there you go. Flak after up, noting Veterinary 2, which gives it a fat damage boost. That can do a lot more damage fast. In fact, it's rapidly going on the Veterinary 3, though it's close to being taken out there by the Sis 3 already, and he needs that repaired. Obviously, does not want to lose that flak after act. As for Idkwimta, we do have one incendiary barrage sort of locked in, which could be used, I think, sort of effectively to disrupt C++ and one of his defenses, but it has to be coordinated properly, or it's going to end up doing the bugger all. Folks, they're making a bit of a fatal mistake. They're running straight at the shock troopers without any sort of high rate fire weapon themselves, which just means the shock troopers tear them apart. The south of the appearance was the Fulton of the T-Sin coming in, might have a chance of wiping out one of C++ Fulton's squad, which he extended rather than cautiously. Light machine gets on the way there for the Obersoldaten. Fulton squad they're about to get wiped out. Light machine gun almost done here for C++ and Deutschland. Engineers being hit, flak attack, but covering fire there, very close to the engineers being splattered out by the high impact flak fire there from C++ 251. 17. Films were there suffering the wrath of the flak attack, so we've got the T-Sin moving up as well here, closing on that ace level. And 4-4 back, and there goes Sis 3 opens up there. C++ too slow to pull back there, suffering under Idkwimta's rather bunched up assault. Bunched up, but effective in the end. MD-34 was not nearby to support this time around, and the Panzers here could also end up being wiped. But there you go, grenade off, and wipes the entire penalty squad as he retreats into it. Bit of a unfortunate call there by Idkwimta, but of course great stuff there for C++, replacing his flak half-track with the Panzer IV, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Worth noting about Obersoldaten, there was no sort of Obersoldat unit in the war, but it sort of reflects how the Germans had a tendency in the later stage of the war just to form up, well, improvised units formed up with their best men. Little fun fact there. Folks, their Panzerfaust and the T-70 got a penal squad to replace the one taken out here cruelly by C++ and the German army. The Southern Assault continues to punishing the way as the Obersoldaten provide voluminous covering fire with this light machine gun. Folks, the close being wiped out. Need to be careful here, Mr. C++. Inch enough. We're not seeing a lot of action here. I mean, a good push, I think, with the T-70 or some Attila could do the job there. And there you go, Panzer IV out for C++ and the Groß Deutschland Panzergrenadier to be shown. Obersoldaten need to retreat. I mean, there in case of where like entire NCO schools would be sort of formed into like shock units because they're too close to the front. These needing a sort of like a swift elite unit. So, oh, fun note there. Mines with them hard at work. Panzer was moving up as well there. Slowly approaching that T-50, got the T-Sin moving up, Pim's moving as well. He might try and stall out here for the IS-2, a bit risky there for Idkwimta, particularly now with the Panzer IV in the field. He might bet off just trying to stick for a T-54 from 6, maybe backed up with the KVA and then go for it. But we'll see what Idkwimta does here versus C++. Panzer was there being murdered by the T-Sin by note ace level, so pretty good stuff there. Oh, we could see what he's running to the base. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Flak in place from this frying, but it's not matching. And the Panzers get wiped out. A bold raid there by Idkwimta into C++ base, causing him grievous harm. Good work there by Idkwimta. It was risky, but it paid off nicely. And even then, it wasn't like a high risk. And again, in this case, getting a Panzer squad out of the way, just, 5-man squad with, 100 worth of munitions of Panzerschreck is pretty good. Trying to advance up here through the canal, but need to be careful the T-Sin just moving and just, punish them for being bunched up, which is exactly what's going to happen here. C++, I think, got a bit rattled there by the raids into his base, and Idkwimta, I imagine, is going to try and reap the rewards of this. He's not going to pursue this time around, probably worried about something hiding about there, figuring he can't pull it off twice in a row, which is not a bad assumption. C++ to replacing the lost Panzer with more Obersoldaten. Truly a believer in the superiority of fleet German infantry. Back here, troops reinforcing. It is starting to really look like he's just going to try and stall out for the IS-2 heavy tank here versus C++. As for C++, he's acting in a tight position versus an IS-2 right now. He's got a Panther, he's got a Kettenwerfer, which, depending on how IS-2 happen, could actually give C++ a really hard time. It's going to have to go for Jagdtiger or Panther. Field. Ooh, that was a brutal hit on the Panther 4. They almost took it out. And further leaves C++ vulnerable to Idkwimta, just push ahead, and of course leaves the doorway more open for the IS-2. So C++ here might be in for a bit of a rough ride, a turbulent time. if you will, for Kedma if they're hiding out. Bit of quiet here. An MD-34 was primarily handed out to like lower rated units, not seriously elite units actually. From the Fulton it is there. We got troops pushing through the south as well there, and a bit of skirmishing up north as well there. Good approach. So broad approach here by Idkwimta. Of course, need to not to extend, but at the same time, used correctly with some incendiary artillery barrages, he could actually, I think, give C++ a really hard time and further just support the push for the IS-2. Obviously moving in against the penal troopers. Panzerfall moving in there. Good to go once more under the expert hands there of C++ artisanal Sturm Pioneers. Orbs on there slowly murdering away. Ooh, almost got a full wipe there. T-70 Ace there, good to go once more. And Southern Exponent hit there by C++. Good maneuvers there. Maybe want to consider some upgrades for the orbital Fulton, though can understand he prioritized orbital in this case, and that's not bad at all. But there you go, Panther 4 charging ahead. T-70 pushed back with some damage. Shots bouncing or failing to hit the Panzer 4 there. Pretty lucky for C++. There goes Sis-3 though. Pierces the armor. Lightning for going for the C++ running with crucial artillery support. It's just not going to stop the IS-2 heavy tank, I'm afraid. It's just not going to cut it. But it can provide him with other supporting elements, so it's not all bad, but you know, just... I feel like it's a slightly wrong read. He needs to definitely out the Jagdpanzer or something like that to really stop the IS-2. He could go for another Panther 4, but two Panther 4s are going to struggle against the IS-2 nonetheless. We'll see what it ends up with here. In the south here, T-70 pushing back. The Falcons there, supported by the engineers. We are very close there. He's got the fuel, he's got the command point. He just needs the manpower to roll out this Stalin, this sledgehammer, and sort of unleash it against C++ and the German army's skull. Or kneecaps at the very least. There we go. He just needs to press the button and unleash the beast. There we go. Adding the pintle and disc coming here, machine gun on top. Going for the center victory point. Orbs on there going to be subjected to the wrath of the IS-2. Shoots and misses spectacularly. Panther being slowly pushed back by anti-tank rifle and anti-tank gunfire. Orbs then being blasted by the IS-2, and apparently some trees are stuck in it. Almost as though they've gained sentience of their own and they're trying to escape the Stalinist machinery of the IS-2. Shoots, misses. Pinlight machine almost done though. And it continues there inexorably versus C++ lines, struggling to withstand the sheer weight and brutality of Idkwimta's IS-2. The Panther 4 shoots actually gets a penetrating hit. The IS-2 though standing on attention. Raketna lands a hit, but it fails to penetrate. Raketna being sniped by the T-75 as well there. Looking to clear up Raketna for good work there. Fulton's threatening here with the Panther Faust, but the Fultons themselves are being obliterated by the sheer amount of firepower Idkwimta's bringing to bear against C++. His units are being slowly bled out and ground into, well, a fine, well, not very fine paste, actually a pretty coarse paste. IS-2 there, closing in veterans 1 already. Panther 4 doubling out of there in the face of the IS-2 heavy tank. And the Share Panther was actually exposed, so you could destroy it, preventing C++ from going for Yak Panthers or Panthers. And so far, he isn't actually going for any of those. Which is a bit interesting. I mean, it could be a sort of a struggle, but... I mean, there's a part of me that's worrying he might actually try to pull for the Jagdtiger here. I mean, that's definitely not what I'd recommend, but I guess if you're actually bananas, I mean, you could go for the Jagdtiger and just, you know... blast your opponent's skull in with that one. Well, he's totally achieves that. Picks up the Panzerkampfwagen FS2 rolling ahead here, so he's got no Academy up, he's got no Panzerschrecks, he's got a single Panzer IV right now to stop the IS-2, and it genuinely seems like he might actually be trying to stall here for the Jagdtiger, because obviously we should not be going for the Academy as you were saying, up manpower for that Jagdpanzer as fast as possible, or the Panther, but I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong here. But it's starting to look a lot like a Jagdtiger, which would be very interesting. Though again, I would not recommend this to the average player. Would not recommend that to the average player. Blasting them apart there. Orbital there being slowly made here by the IS-2. Just shouldn't be pushing through then a very narrow spot there against a heavy tank with a great deal of AoE. That was a bit of a bad call there by C++. And basically just feeds the IS-2 more victims. And of course further delays, whatever he's planning, be it Jagdpanzer, Panther, or again, Jagdtiger. Seizing the southern point. I mean, it is a Jagdtiger. That's only one of the few times in like ages I've seen a Jagdtiger in a 1 versus 1. I mean, you don't see those very often. For a reason, partly because, again, Breakthrough just does not see a lot of uses in the damn first place. But even then, like, usually the Jagdtiger is prioritized very low. Panzer 4, they're good to go. Pimos are being slowly bled out. Seizing the southeastern victory point there for the glorious Faserland. There you go, Panzer 4 goes straight for the T-70 being seemingly fixed out a bit. And there you go, flanking the Pimos with some heaviest light machine gun fire. And of course the Panzer 4 joining in. IS-2 moving in again. Ken Riffle moving up. Shoots and snaps some poor bastard there. IS-2 15 kills, veterans 1. What is C++ playing at? Seizing the southeastern field point there. Good play, by the way, taking advantage of Idkwimta's heavy focus into the sweep up there. As for Idkwimta, he really would benefit from some artillery to put more pressure on C++ and probably sort of just taking out some of the other stuff here. And also see if he can't master a response there. The T-7 I think could easily afford to just be shifted down there with some infantry. Incendiary artillery here being utilised to sort of make it hard for him to pass through there, buying himself more time, but the question is more time for what? And I think you should try and bait him into sort of a bigger engagement and then call it in there. Feels a bit premature. Choosing a catching a full squad on his own. Bit risky there. Now for C++, again, in many ways it made sense, but obviously not without its risks. Moving up, perhaps. I'm actually surprised that Idkwimta is not trying to destroy the Schwerpanzer quarters. That usually would be the priority, destroying it so his opponent can't get a Panther, Jagdpanzer, which would, you know, be very much like the high priority troublemakers for the IS-2. And again, I'm surprised he's not trying to help manpower. Again, it feels like he is saving up for the Jagdtiger here. Pimos there being hosed down by the Obersoldaten with the light machine guns. Got 5, got 9 kills there. IS-2 moving in, 16 kills, shoots and misses. Much I imagine to the relief of the Obersoldaten as they get the devil out of there. Most of the map they're currently in control of Idkwimta. Victory points was they're pretty close for now. They can see Idkwimta's obviously going to get the lead rapidly. So, I mean, if he's going for the Jagdtiger, it's still going to be at least a couple of minutes away because manpower-wise, again, it's a bit of a tall order. 720 manpower, and of course the 280 fuel, which actually makes it a bit more expensive than a Jagdtiger or Tiger Ace. Well, Jagdtiger obviously is the Jagdtiger, damn it. Doing some light damage there to expose the route to the Schwerpanzer quarters. Panther down to half pipe, and though it is virtually 4. Good unit pressure there by C++ for that one. Smoke screen down here, and I think that is from the light infantry gun. I think it's actually prevent the field gun from firing at the Panther 4, thus also isolating the IS-2. It's actually a pretty good smoke screen there by C++. 2 thumbs up. Thumbs plus plus, if you will. T-7 here was the Fulton is posing into them. 45 or 25 kills, they're not 45 kills, good god. A T-7 45 kills and you're not winning hard is usually would be a bit odd there. Obviously move through the south there, a bit more elite infantry committed sort of on their own here to put pressure on Idkwimta's southeastern flank. He's got the fuel now for the Jagdtiger. He's not going for a Panther, he's not going for Jagdtiger. It would seem like C++ is genuinely going for the Jagdtiger. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seeing a Jagdtiger in a 1 versus 1. Yes, you heard that correctly. You know the procedure, strap yourselves in and prepare yourself for the worst. Anyways, Panther 4 going in there to sort of go for the T-70. He might even use the Orbsoldaten in this bait to draw on the T-70, which would be pretty clever there by C++, certainly frees up again more frontage. Well, there you go. Oh, extended anti-tank shell charge doing heavy damage to the Panther 4 that's about to hit. There we go. Veteran 5, Ace, Panther 4, Model J for C++. We got the IS-2, we got the field gun moving in there to try and take out C++'s pocket Tiger tank there. Fulton moving up to Panther fast. The T's IS-2 shot bounces though. Close vetted through there on the IS-2. Seizing the northern point here. We are well roughly a minute away now from the IS-2. Oh, the Jagdtiger here, we already got the IS-2, obviously. He is taking up there as well, which is a bit late there, but still good to get out some tanks to support the IS-2 besides the T-70 light tank, which is, by the way, in need of some serious repairs, and not just, you know, fresh coat of paint. Panzer, of course, also needs some serious repairs, and a fresh coat of paint. He keeps delaying it though, so that only gives Idkwimta more time. But again, the question is Idkwimta really thinking about the possibility Jagdtiger might actually hit? I mean, again, you really don't see them in 1 versus 1 very often for a reason. So there's simply the possibility that he thinks he might be going up against the King Tigers, you know. Surely not a Jagdtiger. But obviously, again, he should be paying for that one either way as well. I mean, a King Tiger is not exactly something to scoff at either. And he's got doorbells and levers of the penal troopers with anti-tank rifles. They stand no chance against these agglomerations of elite infantry there. Artillery fire there raining down from the lightest infantry Geschütz. Panzer forming ahead here. Sturm Pioneers on the flank there. 247 to finish 64, and there you go. Hits in the IS-2, so close to 32. Got T-Fed Forceman 6 on the way here for Idkwimta. And we are moments away from the Jagdtiger here from C++. Moments away. Fasten your seatbelts, boys. This is ladies and girls, whatever. It's gonna be a ride. Oh well, never mind. The engine reinforcing. You may loosen the seatbelts a bit for a few moments, but again, prepare for turbulence. Panzer rolling out there. Blitzing hit to try and take out the T-70, gets a good hit there, of course, at ace level. It is also accurate on the move, making it much more effective just pursuing other units, destroying them. There you go, takes out the T-70 again while moving, so again, pretty handy ability there. And there we go, 31 minutes in the match here. And we got a Jagdtiger in a 1 versus 1 match, ladies and gentlemen. And in there, the tank engine improvements upgrade there. Equipped with a 128mm gun, which is usually what naval guns were sort of in terms of caliber. It was actually designed as an assault gun, but like so many other assault guns, after the Stu got redesignated as a tank destroyer so Guderian could control it. But effectively, it was but a very, very large assault gun, also part of his role. The gun itself was also a field cannon, sort of stationed on its own, which is known as the PaK-44. But there you go, IS-2 going straight for the focus there. We've got Betsy 2. Will Idkwimta, though, be ready for the Jagdtiger? We got more T-Fed Forceman 6 on the way there for Idkwimta. There you go, first shot there on the IS-2. The crew, I imagine, is a bit shocked, like, what was that? Some absolutely smashing hit here from the Jagdtiger. Fun fact, some of the earliest crews of the Jagdtigers actually had some issues because there's essentially two companies. Like, you had one made from tank destroyer companies, sort of meant, which knew actually how to operate. Again, they weren't concerned about, but they also created a company from previous Tiger crews, and they weren't quite as ready for it. And in fact, they didn't quite handle as well because they were not, you know, used to handling a like assault gun, you know, having no turret and all that. But there you go, he's bombarding here using the supporting fire there against the field gun. Shot so far, doing some light damage, but mostly missing there. Not the greatest barracks there, but I suppose it put some pressure there on Idkwimta. And of course, just the psychological effect of having the Jagdtiger back in the field, I imagine, might cause Idkwimta to make some rather awkward calls. IS-2 there by 23 kills, towards they're retreating in the face of this steel behemoth. T-Fed force assembling there. You could try and move ahead here with the infantry and slowly sort of edge out Idkwimta here, using the Jagdtiger basically sort of just heavy supporting fire there. Was based off the King Tiger's chassis, was very heavily armoured, but also suffered from a lot of mechanical issues because it really overloaded the entire thing in terms of like mechanics and such. Overall, not a lot of them were made. And they first saw usage on the Western Front, sort of, I think, doing Operation Nordwind, actually. There's performance, I think, wasn't quite amazing. Got a mechanized rating there for C++ being prepared to help repair stuff. Artillery here against the forces up north. Great hit on the Panther. There you go. Jagdtiger lands another hit there on the IS-2. And Idkwimta pulls back again. What will he do in the face of the Jagdtiger? How will he defeat it? I mean, Immortals lay down some smokes and then try and charge it. Could be an idea. Some are trying to isolate it from the rest of the units. Though again, a bit risky. Could work out. There definitely needs to be some caution there. You got Pims there by the riverside. The canal there being hosed down by C++'s infantry. Bit of standoff here again. The Jagdtiger proving to be a formidable obstacle at the moment. Again with its 128mm cannon. T-54 from 6 there on the way for Idkwimta. Everything being blasted in the centre. Panzer IV obliterating the advancing Soviet infantry. 37 kills there. Very good work. Their canals rating up right next to the Jagdtigers and just repaired on the spot. We got 245 to 315. I mean, Idkwimta again is going to have to try and figure out how to deal with this. I mean, right now, due to I would say, the layout of the map, the Jagdtiger is acting in a pretty dominant position. There's not a lot of ways to sort of hide from its arc of fire. It's going to be quite tricky, and it looks like Idkwimta might be trying to set up for a swarm assault and basically just sort of swarm it and then get behind and just shoot it down quickly, which is probably a good idea, though. It's going to be a bit tricky because there's actually the Panzer IV cameras on the rear, and it could be that C++ has already deduced what Idkwimta might be trying to do, in which case, again, keeping a tank nearby the rear of the Jagdtiger could be an idea. Then again, he might just be kind of tagging towards the north here with it. Fortunately, by taking heavy losses from the field gun there, it's ace level. And Pims are caught in the canal by the Panzer doing some damage there. Triple T-34 ready alongside the IS-2 heavy tank. A mortar, though, again, would be a good idea to lay down smokes and just further negating any possible incoming fire. Allow it to the tanks to get past the Jagdtiger's line of fire cleared out. He should also get the IS-2 in the field and spot. And there you go. Great hit on the IS-2 again, but the Jagdtiger veterans one gained. Pushing the IS-2 back. Got T-34 pushing moving to starfords here. Whoops. Idkwimta assaulting it alone. Oberson squad. He's going to go in. He's going to try and go for a flank here. Crossing through, they're using the IS-2 and the field gun maybe just sort of bait, and there goes shots, fights. Single shot goes for the Jagdtiger's thick frontal armour. Field gun's balancing. Panzer IV, they're staying behind the Jagdtiger, basically covering the rear of the Jagdtiger, ensuring they can't easily swarm it from behind. Also, of course, shooting the advancing tanks. They got a bit of a traffic jam here. T-34 can't get past the Jagdtiger's frontal gun. Losing one T-34 there too, another T-34 down, and the other one there again is now on its own. The Panzer IV there again expertly covering the rear of the Jagdtiger, and again Idkwimta there sadly having some traffic issues. Basically got the rest stuck in front of the Jagdtiger. Close 52 there, and with that he's just lost 3 T-34s and 6s. He might have done some damage here and there to C++, but T-35 got abandoned, and more crucially that both the Panzer IV and the Jagdtiger still up. We got the Jagdtiger unbounding the C3 field gun. So a brutal push there by Idkwimta, but in the end, sadly not enough. Again, I think the smokes would have done the trick better again. Negating this fire, but Kevin Malphus is also allowing the IS-2 to charge in to support this attack there. So I think that was a bit unfortunate there for Idkwimta. Though of course, very good for C++. He did not use last smoke, since again, it would have made it much harder for him to defend. Direct hit on the IS-2 side armor, closing on ace level there, but the Jagdtiger is closing in on veterancy too. He's going to try and raid the base. I mean, that could be an idea that with the other trucks about, he's going a bit higher there to sort of get an annihilation victory against C++. But in theory, it could be an idea, though, of course, at which point again he further gets punished for not destroying this, and then sort of quickly heading towards the base while the Jagdtiger was up here before he got the mech and out of Rechnaya up. So again, some unfortunate weapons. They got the Jagdtiger, though, down to half field guns landing some good hits, and of course the Pumas was also adding a bit there, but the assault is now stalling, MG34, and of course that Ace Panzer IV, that pocket tiger, trying to pass over the canal here. We got the MG4 covering, like Kevin being destroyed here by the anti-tank rifles, at least looking to deny that one to C++. Not a bad move there by Idkwimta. If he can destroy, but his men are being slowly suppressed and pinned down. Tilifar raining down. T-34 and 6 on the way again there for Idkwimta. And there you go. Pop goes the weasel. IS-2 lands a small hit. There we go. Oberson trying to cross the canal, but of course right in front of the IS-2. That's going to be a really bad idea unless they wish to be buried in that canal. Smoking down there again. Basically sort of negating the IS-2's ability to shoot his troops along to reposition. Good response there by C++. Thumbs up again. Jagdtiger's almost combat ready again. T-34 this SM6 fixed up by C++. Putting him now at 2 tanks and a heavy tank destroyer. Schwerer Panzerjäger. Now the T-Fed forces mix up their fire Idkwimta as he once more tries to cross the canal and ruin C++ day, but so far C++ and his Jagdtiger, and of course Panther has proven to be more than sufficient to frustrate any advance by Idkwimta. IS-2 stopping the Oberland from crossing over there. Well, not from crossing into the afterlife if it can hit. Great hit in the Jagdtiger. Shot bounced though. Shot bounced. Bounce again. T-Fed also going straight for the T-Fed 4 at the same time. The South T-Fed moving straight into a mine there. We can see that the C++ really does not want him to try and raid the base again, so that certainly highlights that. Good work there by C++. And there you go. T-Fed Force 6 under C++ command is taking heavy damage, about to get taken out here by the field gun and the anti-tank penal troops, and there you go. Kaput, Panther 4 taking hit from the IS-2 very close to the ace level. Panther 4 bouncing some shots, IS-2, Jagdtiger is moving up. Rechnaya 2 by the way, which increases his mobility and his rate of fire. I think he's trying to be counter-spot. Oh, mine goes over and taking out the penal troop squad there. I think he might try to be can't somehow hit the IS-2 with it. Penal troop squad number 2 also going down. Oh my goodness, that is 2 wipes there against Idkwimta. Too slow here in the face of C++ advance. That Panther 4 was really paying off by now. Actually been some time seeing the Panther 4 do so well there. Partly because most players tend to throw them away as well. Penal moving in there, trying to flank in the Panther 4. IS-2 by the way is now ace level. Virtually free, 35 kills, not too shabby either. Common Blitz allowed the Panther 4 to get away, but of course also allows to shoot faster while retreating. And of course again remember, it is more accurate on the move though. With the main gun now, it's not going to matter. So right now Idkwimta is slowly being pushed out here. C++ is having a very strong anchor here in the Jagdtiger. And he's also swinging around pretty aggressively over his head at times. Field gun there managed to survive at the brutal and ruthless hands of the Sturm Pioneers. Reinforcement healing, Panther 4 there in dire repairs. That's really a true hero of Germany. That could definitely be some Knights Cross material there. Sturm Pioneers surviving the Sith 3 field gun. More penal troops out here for Idkwimta. 245, this is 245. And her tank rifles there, no shock troops and no push from the northern victory point, which actually is wide open. But of course, he might be worried about the Panther 4 just swooping in and destroying his infantry, but just sends it in, you know, unescorted. Field bombarding. Ooh, decent hit there. Spreading out there for C++ formation. Got the IS-2 hit there as well. Shoots and misses. Not quite accurate on the move there. Go Jagdtiger lands a good hit. Shoots and misses again. Jagdtiger though may not be as merciful. Another hit there, putting it close to Rechnaya 3. Wow, you rarely get to see a Rechnaya, you know, anything Jagdtiger. In the first place, the one was wrong. We actually see one Rechnaya 3 as well. Quite impressive in a way. Fixing up the T-Fed Force 6 there again. Seizing the center victory point. They need to get the southern one as well. And could also try and sting in the northern one. But there you go. Panther 4 to the rescue once more. Got the field gun there nearby. If it can hit. Instead it's bombarding, trying to stop the machine gun crew. Yeah, and I feel like a mortar could just be a really good investment for Idkwimta. We got another T-Fed Force on the way there. Units being blasted here by the Sith 3. Fixing up the IS-2 again. Bombardment here trying to clear out the field gun crew, though is not quite having success murdering anything with its gun. Bit of quiet here. T-Fed Force against the advancing folks in the south, slowly gutting them. More tanks out for Idkwimta and the Red Army. The 5th Mechanized Corps, though, is finding itself stalled in his advance here by the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier. What will he do next? Mines up here to sort of try and cover against any sort of possible assaults here. Not bad at all. Looks like he's planning something with the T-Fed Force 6s in the south. Looks like it's going to try and raid the base of C++ again. Flank emplacement crew cleared out. Strong, and there you go. Panther 4 moving in. The foes being murdered. Going steady for the T-Fed force and expect misses. Misses. Jagdtiger opening up there as well. No, does not hit at all. Very close again to that Veteran 3. 200 points left here for the Idkwimta. C++ remains over away purposes. There you go, directly on the Ace 2 by the Jagdtiger. Very, very, very close to Veteran 3. There we go, we got a Veteran 3 Jagdtiger, ladies and gentlemen. Could we see Veteran 4, even Veteran 5? That would be something else. T-Fed force look like they're trying to launch an assault on the base here. Maybe try and draw away again C++ attention from the centre. Another field going away. The fighter crew, there you go, hits a mine in the south, he rates the base. C++ mounting pace over. There you go, Jagdtiger lands great, and the T-Fed force and the Panther 4 goes in to finish it off there. 56 kills could be added to 57. Shoots, misses the Panther 4. Jagdtiger slowly moving ahead here, and there we go, shoots. Oh, uses the APCBC high explosive shells there to shoot for everything, and there you go. Both T-54s are down. The Jagdtiger is actually moving towards Veteran 4. Direct hit here on the IS-2, so close to Veteran 4. Could we see it? Could we see the Ace Jagdtiger? That'd be a bloody miracle. It seems like perhaps not after all. Rolling a bit back with that one. Eyes too good to go. .58 kills in that Panzer 4. Bit of quiet here, I think, is Idkwimta is trying to figure out some sort of solution to this mess. But it is going to be a challenge. So far again, he just does not have the tactical tools to really deal with it. Jagdtiger, there you go. Shining straight in, there you go. Veteran 4 Jagdtiger. Again opening up, field and combining. Jagdtiger taking a minor hit there, but it's merely a scratch, a flesh wound. That's really calling to drop the IS-2 is getting stuck here. Field guns keep on blasting away, but they don't penetrate. IS-2 fails as well. And that, Idkwimta just basically decides to call it quits. A loss here for the Red Army, a victory for the German Army, a victory for the Jagdtiger in a rare 1 versus 1 match that actually had it in it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.